Every single time you leave the house, your dog watches you go. They sit at the window, or they stand at the door, or they position themselves at the exact spot where they last saw you, and they stay there, eyes fixed on the place you disappeared from, completely still. You have probably seen it, maybe through the window as you walk to your car, maybe on a camera you installed to check on them, maybe a neighbor mentioned it. Your dog, watching you leave, unmoving, until you are completely gone. But here is what almost no one has ever noticed. When you come back, when the key turns in the lock and the door opens and you walk back into their world, your dog is not watching the door. They are not sitting at the window waiting. They are already moving, already there, already in motion before you fully appear. They watched you leave. They never watch you come back. And the reason why, the real reason, the one rooted in science and in the depth of the bond between you, is one of the most profound things you will ever learn about your dog. Stay until the end, because what I am going to tell you about what your dog does in the hours between your leaving and your return is something every owner needs to hear. When you leave, something happens in your dog that has no clean human equivalent, but comes closest to what we would call grief. Not the grief of permanent loss, not the grief of death or endings, but the grief of absence, the specific, physical, immediate experience of someone who was here and is now not here, and whose return cannot be predicted with certainty, because dogs do not have calendars or clocks or the cognitive ability to tell themselves, they will be back in 8 hours. This is temporary. I have done this before. What your dog has instead is the present moment. And in the present moment, you are gone. The door is closed. Your scent is beginning to fade from the air. The sounds of you have stopped. And something in their nervous system responds to all of that simultaneously. Not with the dramatic distress of separation anxiety, but with a quieter, deeper, more sustained version of it. The version that looks like sitting very still at a window and watching the place you disappeared from long after you have disappeared. Researchers studying canine responses to owner departure have found measurable physiological changes in dogs during the first moments after their owner leaves. Elevated heart rate, increased cortisol, behavioral indicators of stress that are subtle but consistent. The dog who looks calm sitting at the window is not calm. They are managing. They are doing what bonded creatures do when the thing they are bonded to is suddenly gone. They keep their eyes on the last place it was, as if watching hard enough might bring it back. That vigil at the window is not them being dramatic. It is them loving you in the only way available to them when you are not there to receive it. Have you ever caught your dog watching you leave? Through the window? On a camera? A neighbor told you? Comment below and tell me what they looked like. I want to know how your dog holds their vigil. What your dog does in your absence is one of the most studied and least understood aspects of canine behavior, because most of it happens when no one is watching. Research using cameras placed in homes has revealed a consistent pattern in bonded dogs during owner absence. In the first 30 minutes after departure, most dogs show elevated stress behaviors, moving through the house, vocalizing, returning repeatedly to the door or window where the owner was last seen. Then, gradually, a different phase begins. They find your things. A piece of clothing you left on a chair, your pillow, your side of the couch, and they settle into it, not randomly, but deliberately, pressing their face into the fabric, absorbing whatever remains of your scent in the fibers. Studies have shown that the scent of their owner is one of the most powerful calming agents available to a dog in the owner's absence. It activates the same reward centers in the dog's brain that activate when the owner is physically present. Your smell, in your absence, is the closest thing to you that your dog has access to, and they use it. They also monitor. Dogs left alone do not simply sleep through your absence. They maintain a low level of environmental awareness, ears tracking sounds, nose processing the air coming under the door, body position to maximize their ability to detect your return as early as possible. They are not waiting passively. They are actively listening for you, for the specific sound of your car, your footsteps, your key, the particular sequence of sounds that means they are coming back. Your dog spends your absence doing two things simultaneously, grieving your presence and preparing for your return, both at once, for however many hours you are gone. This is the part that stops most owners completely when they first learn about it, and it is one of the most remarkable documented behaviors in canine science. Your dog knows you are coming home before you arrive, not by minutes, sometimes by 10, 15, 20 minutes, before your car is on their street, before any human in the house has any indication you are on your way. The most famous study on this phenomenon was conducted by biologist Rupert Sheldrake, who filmed dogs at home while their owners were out at unpredictable times and distances. The footage showed dogs moving to the door or window at the precise moment their owner began the journey home. Not when the car pulled up, not when familiar sounds could be heard, but at the moment of departure from wherever the owner had been, before any conventional sensory explanation could account for it. The leading scientific explanations involve the extraordinary sensitivity of a dog's hearing. They can detect the specific sound of your car engine from distances that would be inaudible to humans, and their olfactory system, which can detect changes in airborne scent patterns that humans cannot perceive. Some researchers propose that dogs also read microchanges in the behavior of other people in the household who unconsciously shift when they know the owner is coming. But here is what all of these explanations share. Your dog is so attuned to you, so continuously, actively monitoring for any signal of your return, that they detect it before it is detectable by any other means. They have been waiting and listening for you the entire time you were gone, and the moment the first signal reaches them, however faint, however far, they know. They do not watch you come back, because they do not need to watch for something they already know is happening. If your dog has ever been at the door waiting before you even pulled into the driveway, hit like right now. What you just learned is why, and it is more remarkable than most people ever realize. Beyond their sensory abilities, your dog has something else working in their favor, a biological clock that is more finely calibrated to your schedule than you might imagine. Research into canine circadian rhythms has found that dogs develop highly specific internal timing around their owner's daily patterns. They do not experience time the way humans do. They cannot count hours or read clocks, but they track the rhythm of scent decay with extraordinary precision. Your scent in a space fades at a measurable rate, and dogs can use the concentration of that fading scent as a rough temporal marker, sensing how long ago something happened based on how much of the scent remains. This is why dogs whose owners have consistent schedules tend to move toward the door area at roughly the time the owner usually returns, even when the owner is running late, even when nothing audible has announced the return. They have correlated the level of your fading scent in the space with the time you typically reappear. When the scent drops to a certain threshold, their body begins to anticipate. Your dog has built an internal model of your schedule based on biological information you did not know you were leaving behind. They have been tracking you by scent, by sound, by the rhythms of your shared life together, and they have done it so precisely that they know when you are coming before you arrive. They watched you leave because they had to, because absence is something that happens to them, and they have no control over it. They do not watch you come back because your return is something they participate in, something they know is coming, something their whole body has been oriented toward since the moment you left. When you come back, your dog does not just greet you. They process you. In the first moments of reunion, your dog's nose is moving rapidly across your clothing, your hands, your face, reading a detailed chemical record of everywhere you went and everything you encountered while you were away, who you were near, what you touched, what environments you passed through, whether your stress levels were elevated, whether you ate, whether something happened that changed your body chemistry in any way. Your dog reads your day and your scent the way you might read a message from someone you love, quickly, completely, taking in everything at once. And what they are looking for, underneath all the information about where you went, is confirmation of the thing that matters most to them, that you are okay, that you came back the same as you left, that the separation did not take anything from you that cannot be restored now that you are here. The joy of the reunion is not just excitement, it is relief. Hours of sustained monitoring, of listening and waiting and grieving your absence, all of it releasing at once the moment you walk through the door, the elevated cortisol dropping, the alert state dissolving, the nervous system finally, completely, releasing the vigil it has been holding since you left. Your dog was not simply happy to see you. They were restored by your return. You did not just come home. You gave them back the thing that makes their world make sense. Once you understand your dog's departure and return rituals, you have something invaluable, a baseline. And any deviation from that baseline is your dog communicating something important without a single sound. A dog who suddenly stops going to the window when you leave, who turned away from the door sooner than usual, who seems indifferent to your departure when they were never indifferent before, may be telling you something about their physical state. Joint pain or the early stages of illness can make sustained positions, like sitting at a window, uncomfortable. A dog who no longer holds the vigil may not have stopped caring. They may simply hurt too much to hold the position. A dog whose reunion greeting is suddenly muted, who comes to the door slowly instead of rushing, who is calm when they were always electric with relief, deserves attention. Lethargy at reunion is one of the earliest behavioral signs of illness in dogs, appearing before any other obvious symptom. Your dog's greeting is a health indicator. When it changes, notice. And a dog who suddenly begins showing more extreme departure distress, who was always calm but now vocalizes or destroys things when you leave, is telling you their anxiety threshold has changed. Something in their environment, their health, or their sense of security has shifted, and they no longer have the internal resources to manage the separation the way they used to. Your dog has been communicating through this ritual every single day. Every departure watched, every return rushed toward, every greeting a report on how they are. You just needed to know how to read it. Does your dog wait at the window or door when you leave? And are they always there when you come back? Or do they somehow already know before you walk in? Tell me your story in the comments. These experiences are extraordinary, and I want to hear yours. Every morning you leave, your dog watches you go. They sit at that window. They hold that vigil. They spend your entire absence listening for the specific sound of you returning to them. They track your scent as it fades from the air, and they wait for the moment it begins to come back. They do not watch you come back, because they do not need to. They already know. They have been knowing slowly, for however long you were gone, the signal building, the certainty growing, the body already moving toward the door before the key touches the lock. You thought they were just excited to see you. They were ending a vigil they have held every single day since the first time you walked out that door and came back. They always knew you would return. They watched anyway, just in case, because you are worth watching for. If this changed how you see that moment at the window every morning, subscribe to the Dog Mind. Every week we decode a behavior your dog has been showing you for years that you never fully understood. Your dog has been speaking this whole time. Subscribe and we will help you hear every word.